What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the spot where we kick back and react to all kind of different things. Alright, so what we got going on today? We're about to get back to some Japanese culture and history. Alright, so we're back with Let's Ask Shogo, good old Shogo Sensei. So I went through to find an interesting topic and I caught this one. The history of the 47 Ronin and the reasons why they're so famous in Japan. Alright. Now, we've all heard about the 47 Ronin, seen plenty of movies, animes, whatever, that, either reference or just completely utilize them as like a plot point or whatever. But now, let's check out the real history, see what inspired all of this. Let's go.
Are we just going to give up? Or going to be brave and fight for the things we believe in? 皆さんこんにちは and welcome to Let's Ask Shogo. If there is a movie related to samurai history and culture that is famous as The Last Samurai, it is surely the 47 Ronin. However, the story of the movie itself was completely fictional, and only the framework was based on facts. So there are many people asking me, what was the story of the 47 Ronin actually like? So today, as a katana trainee studying about samurai history every day, I will briefly explain the story of the 47 Ronin by breaking it down into 3 points. 1. The incident and seppuku of their lord. 2.
Okay.
Preparation to attack. 3. Their revenge. As the purpose of this video is for you to get the big picture of this event, I will try my best to keep the explanations as simple as possible, so it won't be difficult to understand. Also, at the end of the video, I will talk about why this story is so famous in Japan and was cherished and idealized by the samurai. And even if you get confused somewhere during the story, that's okay. I will wrap everything up again at the end of the video in today's conclusion. それでは本日も参りましょう。
Alright.
1. The incident and seppuku of their lord. I will start from talking about the event that caused the 47 Ronin incident in the first place. But again, to keep the story simple and to avoid confusion, I will only have the 3 most important names appear today. 1.
So there's not going to talk about everybody that was there. Okay.
Asano, the lord of the 47 Ronin. 2. Kira, the enemy of the 47 Ronin. 3. Oishi, a vassal of Asano and a leader who led the 47 Ronin incident. Every New Year's season, there was an important ceremony where the shogun and the emperor would send each other messengers to say their greetings. Powerful samurai leaders from all over Japan were gathered and given jobs for the ceremony. In the year 1701, the man responsible for running these ceremonies was Kira. Asano was responsible for feeding the messengers sent by the emperor because he was a lower rank than Kira. When the series of rituals were just about to end, a terrifying and unexpected event happened. Asano suddenly drew his sword and cut Kira's forehead and back, who was talking with someone in the hallways of the Edo castle. People—
Wait, what? Like, just out of nowhere? Just like, forget you? You're done? There had to be a reason. He had to have a reason as to why he did that.
who heard the painful screams of Kira rushed to stop Asano, and Asano failed to completely end the life of Kira. The shogun was enraged that Asano started such an incident during one of the most important ceremonies of the year in the middle of his castle. Using a katana in my castle on such an important day? I want Asano dead now. He sentenced Asano to seppuku right on that day. And just a few hours after the event, Asano was dead. The Ako clan, of which Asano was the lord, was dissembled, and all of their property were decided to be taken away by the shogunate. All the men who were waiting for the return of their lord back in Akko were no longer samurai. On the other hand,
man, that's crazy. But like, yeah, like I'm lost on why do you do this in the first place? Especially if you know you there around so many important people. There was no way you was gonna, even if you did kill him, there's no way he was gonna do that and get away without being seen or people finding out and stuff. It was like, what was the thought process in that?
Kira was not accused of anything, and he was told to rest to cure his injuries.
I mean, that makes sense considering he was the one who was attacked, right? Or is there more to this story? I feel like you said that like there's gonna be more to this story.
Why would Asano suddenly attack Kira, who was at a higher rank during the ceremony? Asano should have known that causing such an incident would damage his and his clan's honor and would risk the lives of all of his subordinates, right? This is the part of the story that still remains a mystery.
What?
But there are two things that we can
It still remain a mystery? We still don't know why? That's crazy.
try to guess the reason from. 1. What Asano said as he attacked Kira. 2. The bad rumors about Kira. It is believed that when Asano cut Kira, he yelled. This is for the grudge from that day. What grudge did Asano have towards Kira? Again, Kira was the one responsible for running
Grudge that day. Okay, so it was a personal, like, it felt it had to be personal anyway for him to just attack him out of nowhere. But yeah, it must have been some heavy disrespect that happened on that day. You hear somebody yell that and go and try to take somebody out, it was something serious. You know, Kira had to have done something drastic to him at some point. Something that was really like, oh, next time I see you, I don't care. You know, it's like on that on site. That's what that was. That was on site. Like, I'm gonna get you when I see you.
the ceremony at the castle, and Asano was there to support him in order to defeat the messengers. But there was a diary left after this incident, and it was written that Kira was famous for being an arrogant person, and that he wouldn't teach the necessary things for the ceremony unless you pay money to him. It seems that Asano was not satisfied with this, and he rejected Kira's order to pay him to teach him to do his job. There are people who speculate that the grudge from that day might have been a day when Asano was embarrassed because he didn't know how to properly do something during the ceremony.
That could do it. I mean, especially when you want to think about the times where, you know, knowing the whole idea of knowing your place, knowing your roles, knowing how to do what you're supposed to do. And then in a situation where, oh, I'm not going to teach you your role for this ceremony unless you pay me. Just being a jerk. And then you just leave you hanging because of that. And considering just how important it was, you know, that you're not disrespecting those times. Like, disrespect, you know, any time period. But certain time periods are far more serious about it. So yeah, I can understand his mindset at the very least as to how it could have escalated to this point.
However, again, this is just one speculation.
Okay.
And there are others who say that it was because Asano was insulted by Kira during the ritual in front of others. There was nothing wrong with Kira, but it was all Asano's fault.
Okay, so we have very like polar opposites on here. So some people think that yeah, he disrespected him right then and there on that same night, which could have done it. It could have been leading up to it, because what if it was both connected? What if it was Kira disrespected him moments in the past and everything, and now he's just trying to hold it together. And then on this night, he did something else, and it was just like after so much buildup, it just snapped and was just like, I'm sick of this, you know? That could be that too. And then there's people who think he did nothing wrong. Because see, the whole he did nothing wrong thing, that's the one thing. Because if he did nothing wrong, what motivated dude to want to, you know, cut him anyway? If he was anywhere else, then maybe. But the fact that they was there in front of so many people and he knew that drawing his sword was going to get him in trouble, and he did it anyway, that means that he had to got pushed, you know? That's the take I'm going with.
The only thing we know for sure is that Asano suddenly attacked Kira during an important ceremony in the middle of the shogun's castle, and that he was sentenced to seppuku because of it. The samurai of the Ako clan were very dissatisfied with the shogun's decision to sentence their lord to seppuku but not accuse Kira for anything. This is especially because during the Edo period, it was a rule that if two samurai fought each other, regardless of who attacked first, they must be sentenced to the same punishment to be fair. Even if it was their lord Asano that attacked Kira, there must have been an inevitable reason that made him do it, which is equivalent to the crime that Asano has committed. However, there were two problems. One, Kira did not draw his sword when he was attacked. Two, the incident happened during an important ceremony, and the shogun was angry. Because Kira...
They say because the shogun was just angry, so he basically threw out the rulebook because he was pissed off. I mean, he's the shogun, so I could see him doing that, if you have the power to do that, But not the smartest move, because you got to think about the domino effect afterward. A lot of people are most likely upset because you flipped the rules just because you were pissed off.
Did not try to fight back with his sword. This event was not regarded as a fight between two samurai, but...
Oh, what if he was baited, though? What if dude baited him and intentionally didn't draw his sword? See, that's where my mind is going, especially if they got some kind of beef with each other.
Just an unfair assault. Also, usually these problems will take more time for the officials to process. But in this case, the shogun was in fury and made the decision on his own without doing enough investigation.
Yeah, that's basically like potential crime happening and the person you think is responsible, you just send him off to prison. No actual court date, no nothing. You just from that incident to life in jail before the night ends. No, you can't do that.
So there were actually many other samurai in the shogunate who were against the sudden decision to sentence Asano to seppuku. 2. Preparation to attack. With their lord, Asano, gone, his most powerful subordinate, Oishi, was responsible for making decisions for the people of Ako. The people of Ako were all confused and dissatisfied with the situation, and everything was going up.
Man, I feel sorry for that guy having to take the leadership role under these circumstances. You got to try and manage everything, and it just falls in your plate out of nowhere. Feel sorry for that guy.
Of control. We cannot let them take our castle. We should all defend it. No, we should commit seppuku like our lord did, to state our last will to the shogun. You cowards! We should attack Kira's mansion right away and take his head. Oishi declared.
I'm pretty sure they go with option number 3, considering who we're talking about here.
Declined all of these opinions, because he was hoping that possibly they were able to re-establish their clan under Asano's younger brother. The government was still deciding the punishment for the younger brother, and Oishi knew that if the Ako samurai caused any more trouble, their clan would be over for good. By the way, Asano's younger brother was of course not involved in the incident at all, but it was a rule that the men of family members would also have to take responsibility and accept punishments.
Now that's a bogus rule to have. That would suck. That would suck. You know what I mean? People got siblings that don't know how to act right. Now I gotta do time or whatever other punishment they were gonna think of, all because of what he did. Come on now.
The Ako clan handed over their castles and property as scheduled, and Oishi begged the men that came from the shogunate to let Asano's younger brother to continue working as a samurai. However, after a year and a half long of living as a Ronin and persuading his men to not attack Kira, all of his efforts became worthless. The government had decided to demote Asano's younger brother, which meant he no longer had his rights as a samurai. and the last hope to reestablish her clan was gone.
You know, I feel like Kira probably had something to do with that too. You know, politically. I feel like he was probably like whispering, paying some people off, trying to make sure the whole clan gets ruined. And that's where mine goes. Like, you know, it seemed like they were pressing too hard to just eradicate the entire clan. He was probably like, you know what, I'm you know, ruin your whole legacy. That's how much I don't like you. That's what I'm feeling like on here. I know there's no way to prove it, of course, but thinking about how the events are rolling out, that's what it feels like.
Oishi gathers the foremost samurai of the Ako clan to a meeting, and he finally tells them that it's time to take their revenge. However, out of 120 of the men who gathered to this meeting, about half of them were disappointed with Oishi's decision and left him completely.
Oh, come on now. Come on now. After all of this and a year and a half, and then they're going to demote the little brother anyway and still just try to scatter you guys as Ronin and stuff. I feel the same way too. So, I don't know.
They were hoping that Oishi would continue to seek a peaceful solution.
But if the demotion is done and there's nothing else left to do, then there is no more of a peaceful solution. It's either just take it and deal with it or fight back.
Oishi was very shocked about this because some of those who left were a few of his closest friends. He thought that he needed to confirm the strength of determination of the men who were left to take revenge with him. Oishi asked everyone to write a pledge sealed with blood to prove their readiness to fight. However, a few days later, these papers were soon returned to the men by Oishi's subordinates. We are sorry, but we cannot accept your pledge. Oishi has decided to quit the plan of revenge and quietly live with his wife and kids. There were two kinds of reactions to this. Okay, if that is Oishi's true wish, I will have to accept it. What? Oishi has broken his promise and has betrayed us. Who cares about him? I will go on my own to fight.
It's like ride or die. Nah, forget that. I'm going no matter what. No matter what. Okay.
The men of the first kind were not told anything and were excluded from the list. But the second kind were told the truth. Wait, this was a test to confirm your will. Please, Oishi needs you.
You wanted to make sure only those who really, really wanted this. It's like, I don't want to bring anybody who's going to be hesitant, anybody who's got any second thoughts, because that could mess the whole operation up. I want people who are determined.
In the end, the 120 men that gathered at the meeting were down to about 50 people at this point. 3. Their revenge. Oishi and his men moved to the city of Edo, where Kira's mansion was located, and they started to live in 15 different places. They all changed their names and disguised themselves as doctors, sword instructors, or merchants, and tried to gather as much information as they could.
Oh, they were on some infiltration, like for real. Oh man. I'm loving how this is building up.
One of the men who was training in tea ceremony became an apprentice of a master in the area, and he found out that there is going to be a tea ceremony held at the mansion of Kira on December 14th. They chose this night for the attack, after about 2 years after the death of their lord. The night before, the 47 Ronin exchanged their farewell cup and pledged that they will fight as one until their long-cherished wish is achieved. We 47 warriors are one samurai fighting to show our existence this world. We shall fight and die together. The next day, late at night, the 47 Ronin broke into Kira's mansion, succeeded in taking Kira's head, and accomplished their goal. What was amazing about this whole incident was that none of the 47 men were killed, although there was an hour-long fierce battle between the 100 guards of the mansion. They took the head of Kira.
Yo, 100 versus 47, and they swept them. That means that the estimated ratio, each person had to take two people down, and maybe 3. And you know, it's not really how it worked out. Some of them probably had to fight more and others fought less because it's like, you know, a whole battle going on. But still, 100 versus 47, and the 47 got away clean with no deaths, no casualties. Oh, man. Yeah, that's legendary status right there.
To their lord's grave and reported that they have remorsed him. Oishi and his men went to the government themselves to inform them of the incident.
What?
They were all ready to accept any punishments from the government, and no one was planning on running away. This was to prove that they were not just criminals, but were samurai who were fighting for their justice.
I'm sorry, that's amazing right there. They took dude's head and delivered it. They were serious. Oh, man.
The shogun was impressed by their bravery and loyalty, so it was decided that they will be able to have the honor to commit seppuku. The men were all separately taken to different mansions, and they each ended their own lives with dignity. Their graves were built in the same temple where their lord lays, and even a temple gate was built to mourn their souls. Then what happened to the Kira family? Kira's son, who was already the leader of the family, had to take the responsibility to let a group of Ronin into their mansion and was sent out of the capital Edo to be confined in a castle. He eventually became sick from the uncomfortable life there, and the Kira family died out completely.
Jeez. That's one hell of a punishment. Pretty much sent you to death by sending you to a place that had some kind of disease running around. Oh, man. What a fate.
So, in a way, finally, the punishment between the Ako samurai and the Kira family became fair. These rumors of the 47 Ronin spread immediately throughout Japan as a story of heroes, and many people praised their loyalty and bravery. Just 12 days after the incident, there was already a kabuki play performed about them, which is one of the most famous stories in Japan even today.
That's legendary status right there. You did something and less than 2 weeks later, people are trying to reenact it already. Imagine. And this is talking about, you know, the time period. They don't have the technology that we have, and it spread that fast. Imagine this happened with social media around. Imagine that. Imagine all the videos people will be making, like, talking about this. It'll be crazy. Crazy.
Now that you've understood the story, let's talk about why this story is so important and well known among the Japanese. While of course there is no absolute answer to this, from studying about 47 Ronin, I summarized the most supported reasons into 3 points. 1. Their loyalty. 2. Their bravery to fight for what they believe. 3. Their humane character. 1. Their loyalty. First of all, Japanese people love stories of loyalty, where warriors fight to protect their lord and their honor. Another story that is...
And we see that, look, that's what's happened with anime. Loyalty has evolved into the power of friendship. It's like, always have your homies back. That's the message.
Loved as much as the 47 Ronin is surely the story of Shinsengumi, who also fought in battles that they knew they couldn't win, but for their loyalty to the shogunate. But why is loyalty so important among Japanese? One way to explain is that the Edo shogunate imported Confucianism to control the people. The famous Bushido we know of today is made of 3 religions: Shintoism, Buddhism, and Confucianism. But the third, Confucianism, gave the samurais the 5 virtues: benevolence, justice, courtesy, wisdom, and sincerity. The samurai government used these teachings to create the idea of honor and loyalty is the most important thing. You must always obey your superiors. Although this was taught among the samurai, the commoners admired the samurai and their Bushido, so it was widely believed among everyone too. So we can say that the political measures the Edo shogunate took for more than 2 centuries still lives among Japanese people as virtues. 2. Their bravery to fight for what they believe. Life is always unfair and irrational, from past to present, and for every single person on this planet, including you and me. Sometimes terrible things happen to us, even though we have no clue what we did wrong, and there is no way to avoid it. But what we can change is our attitude and actions towards these irrational events. Are we just going to give up, or going to be brave and fight for the things we believe in? The 47 Ronin chose the latter option, and they selected the path to dedicate their lives into trying to fight with this unfair world, which is an attitude that many people admire. Of course, today is a very different era, and I believe that killing someone, no matter what kind of reason you have, is not a good choice. But at the same time, I think that there's something that we can all learn from their brave and serious attitudes. 3. Their humane character. When you heard this whole story, what did you think? Did you think that they were heroes that fought to remorse their lord's soul no matter what it took?
I didn't see them as heroes, but I saw them as family. Like, you took out someone that was important to us unfairly and then kicked us to the curb, treated us like dirt afterward. So we had to get our get back. That's what I get from this story.
Or did they look more like criminals that killed an innocent man? To be honest, I was very surprised when I first read the stories of the 47 Ronin, because they tried to kill Kira even though they didn't know what the reason was their lord attacked him in the first place. Maybe their lord could have just gone mad and suddenly did something crazy, right? No one knows the truth. However, many say that this is another good part of the story, that they are mere humans and that they are not perfect at all. Their reasons to attack Kira was completely personal and not logical nor peaceful at all. But because of their humane characteristics, people are able to relate to them more and feel compassion for them. So in other words, I think that the men who left Oishi and did not join the 47 Ronin were not bad people either. They too did what they believed was right.
I mean, they didn't have to commit seppuku, so I guess they just wanted to live. So I guess there's that. There's always that to think about. But still, it's easy for us to be like, sitting right here and be like, oh, why didn't you join them? You should have joined them. But, you always got to think about it. At the end of the day, I guess they just didn't believe in it that much. And that was their right, really.
Then lastly, today's conclusion. The story of the 47 Ronin can be broken down into 3 points. 1. The incident and seppuku of their lord. In 1701, the lord of the 47 Ronin and the Ako clan, Asano, suddenly attacked Kira, who was responsible for the very important ceremony that was taking place inside the Edo castle. The reason why Asano tried to kill Kira is left a mystery. Regardless of this, the shogun sentenced Asano to seppuku, and the Ako clan was disassembled.
And that also shows the shogunate really dropped the ball on this, because for us to this day not know why he attacked him, the fact that it's left a mystery, that means that, yeah, you really just jumped to conclusions and just had this man beheaded without even finding out any information at all. This, on top of everything else, I feel like this story was a prime example of a failed leader in government. Because you're the one who's supposed to, settle this stuff and do it with a clear head to keep these instances from boiling over like this. And you didn't. You did the exact opposite. So I feel like this whole thing is the fault of the shogunate for not handling the incident properly. Me personally. And even if you'd have handled it properly, we'd have the answer that's a mystery. And the events may not have happened the way they happened. Even if they did, we'd at least have all the correct information to know who was right and who was wrong in this.
The samurai of the Ako clan was very unsatisfied that although their lord was ordered to die, Kira was not convicted of anything, which was thought of as a very unfair decision. 2. preparation to attack. Asano's most powerful subordinate, Oishi, was now responsible for taking care of the people of Ako. He persuaded the men who wanted to go and attack Kira right away to not do so, because he was hoping that he could possibly re-establish their clan under Asano's younger brother peacefully. However,
see, and then if they would just let that happen, still, it wouldn't have gone down this way. But again, and that's why I say I think that maybe Kira was in the background paying some people off or whispering some people's ears or something, because the events rolled out just too, like, I don't know, too prejudiced, like they're really just against them at a certain point.
After a year and a half, the government decided to take away the younger brother's rights as a samurai, and all hope was lost. Oishi finally decided to take revenge for their lord, and the 47 Ronin moved to Edo and started to gather information. 3. Their revenge. They found out that there will be a ceremony held in Kira's mansion, and they succeeded in breaking in at night. They took Kira's head to their lord's grave and reported about the incident to the government themselves. The shogun was quite impressed with their bravery and loyalty, and it was decided that the 47 Ronin can have an honorable death of committing seppuku.
I feel like that was you just trying to fix your mistakes. All this went down, and the shogun, I know somewhere in his mind, he had to have been like, yeah, I probably should have handled this better. This really went down the wrong way. But then you let them, commit seppuku, keep their honor as a samurai to try and sweep it under the rug. Because you knew that the news about this event was spread too far and wide. If you had treated them like Ronin, that would have left a stain. People would not have liked that. So I don't know. Like I said, for me, I'm still pointing the finger at the shogunate here, because I'm like, you really dropped the ball there, buddy.
Kira's family died out after his son became sick during confinement, and finally the punishment between the Ako samurai and Kira family became fair. These rumors of the 47 Ronin spread immediately throughout Japan as a story of heroes, and many people praised their loyalty and bravery. The 3 main reasons that many people point out as reasons why the story of the 47 Ronin are so popular are: 1. Their loyalty. Through the teachings of Confucianism, there is a virtue in Japan believing that honor and loyalty is the most important thing, and you always must obey your superiors. 2. Their bravery to fight for what they believe. Life is always irrational, but the 47 Ronin selected the path to dedicate their lives into trying to fight with this unfair world, which is an attitude that many people admire. 3. Their humane character. The reasons that the 47 Ronin had to attack Kira was completely personal and not logical nor peaceful at all. But because of their humane characters, people are able to relate to them more and feel compassion for them. So that's it for today. Thank you very much for watching. If this video made you want to watch the movie 47 Ronin again, please hit the like button to let me know. And my goal is to achieve 1 million subscribers by January 2023, so your help is what I need. In this channel, you can take a closer look at Japanese traditional culture, tips on traveling to Kyoto, and social problems in Japan. So learners and lovers of Japanese language and culture, be sure to subscribe to enjoy more content. And if you'd like to learn more about today's topic, please take a look at my sub-channel, RYUDO'S Podcast, through the link in the description box. I would like to talk about which part of the story of 47 Ronin that amazed me the most. Thanks again, and I'll see you in my next video. どうもありがとうございました。
All right, so that was a great story right there. Yeah, I can see why. That's so many shows, so many movies, so many everything that's been referencing or using the 47 Ronin. Now that you know the real story, now that we've heard the real story, it's amazing. It was really just like, no, we're not going to take this lying down. You're going to do this to us, we're going to get our get back. And I can see how so many people can relate to that story. That's life sometimes, man. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do. But all right, y'all. So y'all know what to do. Go down in the comment section. Let me know what y'all thought about this one. Let me know what you'd like to see me react to next. Hit that like button before you go. Share this video with everyone you know. And subscribe if you haven't done so already, all right? So, till next time, take care of yourselves. And I'm out of here.